What? Wow, it looks crystal clear on fucking Pub Sports. I retweeted it, so.
Do it on your account too.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Welcome everybody to the Fox in the Box podcast, powered by Pub Sports Radio. My name is Cody Gelhausen at Squids Picks, and with me is Matt Lawrence at MattJ_Lawrence. Matt, today we're doing it a little bit differently. We're doing a live podcast. We'll still be posting up the normal podcast later for all of you who aren't catching this live. You can also rewatch it at Pub Sports Radio's YouTube channel. So don't fret if you're not here in the moment. Matt, round 4 of the Premier League. What are you looking forward to this weekend, and how do you feel about it? I thought it was a tough card.
It's a very tough card this week. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is a tricky one. But let's just talk about last week's card a little bit. I was happy to finally post a profitable weekend. I got lucky as ever with Manchester United. So I'll take any of those that I can get right now. It's a tough league right now, especially with the window not being shut. We've talked about it week in and week out. And this week doesn't get any easier.
No, it doesn't. I struggle with this card. I don't have a lot of plays. Generally, you'll see me rock 3 to 5 plays. This week, I'm scaling it back a bit. And last week, man, outside of the bets we made, a wild weekend in the Premiership. You know, Chelsea capitulated in the first half, clawed their way back to a 3-3 draw against West Brom. You saw Leicester City absolutely manhandle Manchester City, a thing that no one saw coming behind a Jamie Vardy hat-trick, 3 goals, brilliant display. What do you say we move it on to the first match of the weekend? I'm talking about Chelsea, just mentioned, 3-3 West Brom. They're going to host Crystal Palace. They're traveling away from Selhurst Park. You have Chelsea as the obvious favorites here at minus 240. Crystal Palace at plus 850. I don't think anybody's going to touch that. Posted total I have at 2.5 goals, shaded pretty heavily to the over, which is rare for a Crystal Palace match. Matt, I'll let you take the reins here. Break me down.
Yeah. I went with both teams to score and over 2.5 goals in this game, and I'm just really trying to pick on Chelsea's defense right now a little bit. It's looked shaky. Both teams should have scored in all 3 of Chelsea's matchups, barring a missed penalty from Jorginho, which also cost me a unit. But it's just, I expect Chelsea's defense to get better the further we go on in the season. I expect Thiago Silva to not kind of have a catastrophe like he did last week. But it's just still early. And the thing is 4 out of the 6 in this matchup between Palace and Chelsea have seen the classic hit. 12 of 15, I believe, Chelsea matches have seen over 2.5 goals. And, Palace have been, old boy Roy's side. I'm hoping that they can nick a goal. If you don't think that they can nick a goal, then I would recommend taking the over 2.75, but that's at about minus 135 range. So I just believe in Palace being able to cause Chelsea some problems. I don't see Chelsea being able to figure out their issues so quickly. I think it's going to take some time, and I've talked about how much time it is going to take to have these guys to gel. It's not easy. I don't care who you're bringing in, if it's even Lionel Messi. It's still going to take time. So, it's both teams to score over 2.5 goals for me. Plus 115 is what I found. Right now it's at like plus 112 on DraftKings here in Indy.
I like that a lot. And to touch on Palace, they've been good this year, man. Even last week against Everton 2-1 against one of the better teams in this league. I mean, they're fighting. They're getting results. Roy Hodgson, once again, has a team just rolling and firing all cylinders, even though he gets no help once again in the transfer window. But here they are. I'd like Chelsea to win in over 1.5 goals in the match. It's at -161. I'm not playing that because of the defensive situation for Chelsea. I don't think Thiago Silva is going to get better. I said it at the beginning in our breakdown about Chelsea for Pub Sports Radio to start the year. I don't think he's a good fit for this league. I think he's past it physically. Sure, mentally he's there, but he doesn't have guys around him that are going to really help him out and keep organized. I think he's going to continue to struggle. The goalkeeper situation seems to have been solved with bringing Mendy in. I don't know if that's even sealed and delivered. Is he even training with Chelsea? I'm not sure on that end.
No, yeah, he played. He featured in the league.
In the League Cup. So I still just worry about the defense. I think there's going to be a lot of shots, and Palace has some good finishers on their day. But if I had to, I'd go Chelsea and over 1.5 goals. But I'm going to lay -161 on that. No chance.
Yeah, the lines come down a little bit, rightly so. There's a couple that we've seen some line movement here that, yesterday when I was doing the show with SBR, there wasn't any real movement in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. We're starting to see some pop up today, so it's very interesting.
Absolutely. Let's move it on now. We actually had a question about this match from Roman Numerals in the chat. He said, thoughts on Brighton Hove double chance. Let's take a look at this one, shall we? Mm-hmm. So this one, Everton's are the favorite at -124. Brighton come in at +370, playing as the dog once again. Posted was at 2.5 goals, shaded slightly to the over. You can call it either way. Matt, I'm going to shoot down Brighton right now. I like Brighton. We've talked about it for weeks now. They're good. They should have got at least a point against United. I think they're unlucky there. They were the better team. They hit the post 5 times, unlucky as it gets, and they're playing good football. But Everton's a team that I want every bit of. I really do. I'm leaning their win at -124. I'm not pulling the trigger yet because I'm so worried about what Brighton gives us defensively. I also like the under in this one in that kind of sense where Brighton can tighten things up, especially on the road. I don't know where to go with this one, Matt. It's just an Ancelotti team at home against a team that's inferior talent-wise. It's hard for me to lay off. If I had a better price, maybe I'd do it. Maybe I see something in the lineups. Maybe there's a guy or two missing from Brighton, and then I pull that trigger. It's tough. It's tough for me to say. And you look at Everton, and we have something in the chat here. Calvert-Lewin +120 anytime goal scorer. What do you think? He's been the best forward in the Premier League this year. I don't know if we did the show about when we did the show about Everton. I tabbed him like Golden Boot at long shot odds. I liked him because of that midfield he was getting in. We spoke about this, and he is paying dividends. He is a great finisher, young player, getting called up to England. He's got it all going right now. I would not be on you about playing that +120 for anytime goal scorer. That's almost one of the best plays on the board, personally. I just tend to stay away from that. But I had to go one way, Everton to win or the under.
Yeah, I mean, this one's interesting today because the line is going the opposite way. Sharps do like Brighton here. I think that Brent might actually have a decent play in this one. It's really tough, though, because it's not really a match I want to get involved in because Everton are so on fire right now, 3-0 to start this campaign. Brighton have looked better, and we projected them to be better this season, and they're looking a lot better. It's a very, very interesting game to call. I think overs are in play. I think that Brighton score. I think that Brighton can nick a goal here. I like the Calvert-Lewin shout out, though. I do think that that's worthy of maybe a half unit or something like that. But I just don't want. I didn't want to back Everton at -137 price that they were at yesterday, and now that line is starting to come, and it's going really the wrong way, in my opinion. Like that's where it makes it so tough. It makes it so tough here, and the margins are slim. Whenever I was trusting Everton at this kind of price last season, I was getting beat. So, it's one of those things where Brighton can cause Everton problems, but Everton should find a way here to get the win 2-1 or so. But it's just not something that's going to be taking my money this weekend.
It's a tough call. You're right. Everton has burned us so brutally in the past, which you kind of have to get over. It's a new season, but we're weary about it. We certainly are. What do you say we move it on to the next one here? I love this match. This is one of my favorite matches, or maybe my favorite of the weekend, even with the United Tottenham game going on. Leeds United in Manchester City at Ellen Road. Bielsa is the mentor of Pep Guardiola, and they finally face off in this monumental match where Leeds are playing good football. Man City, after a brutal loss, then let's get to it. Leeds, obviously, heavy dogs, 700. You can grab Man City at minus 275. Posted total, I have it at 3.5 goals, right at minus 110. So pick it either way. There's goals in this one. I'm going to go ahead and take the reins because it's going to be my first play of the weekend. Both teams to score over 2.5 goals at minus 148. Almost impossible for me to play from. I mean, what Manchester City did last weekend, awful defensively. That we talked about it, last year at times. They are Pep Guardiola has a drilled team. He does a great job, but he's got a leak in this defense, and he's having trouble fixing it. I get Laporte, fantastic defender, but still, there's issues there. When Fernandinho and Rod, they got to figure out that pivot, and it's not really working out for him. There's space all over the pitch, so I do worry for him. And Leeds only play one way; they're going for goals. I mean, they really are. But City's going to pile in. I expect City to score 2-3 goals.
Yeah,
I think Leeds will get one down. You might see Ruben Diaz, who just came in this week for Manchester City, slot right into that lineup. I wouldn't be shocked if you see him thrown right into the fire. One last note, no Jack Harrison for Leeds, who has been vital to them because he is on loan from Manchester City. So he is not going to be in the match. Take that. But I am going to play both teams scoring over 2.5 at minus 148. I think it's going to be a cracker of a match, and you've got to play that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially a consensus play. I'm on the over 3.5 here at minus 108. But I do have some concerns. And also, just to touch on it, this is another match that has seen some line movement over the last 24 hours. Leeds, yesterday, you could have gotten them at plus 1.75 at around minus 120. That's pretty much gone now. Sharps definitely like Leeds here, and they think that they can keep it close. Why not, the way that City have been looking? But I have a concern with that because, like you touched on, Diaz maybe could come into the lineup. I don't expect him to feature here, but I do expect Laporte to feature. Right. And he was on the bench. We've talked about it, I don't know, pretty much every single podcast for the last 2 years, just about how good City are with Laporte in the lineup versus when they're without him. And that's my only concern here. If you are back in Leeds in this one, I would wait. If you're the market's not gonna move much more than this. I think I would wait on a plus 1.5 on Leeds just to see the lineups if that's who you're kind of backing here. But I mean, we're essentially backing Leeds with our play, hoping that they can get a goal here. I can see City. I could see City scoring 4 on their own, though. I still don't trust Leeds' defense really at all. And it's kind of a bounce back spot for City after the dusting and the spanking they took to the Foxes last week.
That's always the spot to catch City is after a loss. It's never good. But, I mean, Bielsa taught Pep literally everything he knows in a sense. That he took his, a skeleton of his game and formed it into now as Pep Guardiola's, brand of football. But that came from Bielsa. That guy is a mastermind. He's going to be looking right at that defense for Manchester City. He's going to have a plan to exploit it. I have full confidence in that. Let's go Leeds. Let's carry it on. Newcastle and Burnley. Some would say that's a snoozer. I expect it to be a snoozer, but either way, Newcastle are the favorites at plus 145. You can grab Burnley at plus 210. Posted total. I'll call it under 2.5 goals, minus 165. Pretty heavy shade there. And Matt, I don't have much to say about this. I watched Newcastle play midweek against Newport County in the League Cup, and it was dire stuff, man. I mean, they rolled out a fantastic lineup and looked horrific. That same turgid football. Kick it up to Andy Carroll. Let's see what he can do with his head. Maybe he can knock it down. They were awful. They're going to bring that same game plan against Burnley. Burnley will be happy to deal with it. Burnley's going to play damn near the same kind of football. I like Burnley in this one, but I like the draw even more at plus 220. I don't see any other way to go in this. Do you? Do you have any thoughts outside of that?
Sorry, I was just texting Brent to see how our audio is doing because it still does sound a little choppy. So, who did you like, Cody? Sorry.
I'm off of it. I mean, Newcastle, Burnley. I think both teams are going to play pretty turgid football. It's going to be a hike it up to Andy Carroll and see what we can do. I like the draw plus 220. That's really where I'm at. Also, the audio, if you're hearing a little scratch, popcorn, we're having audio issues, but we're powering through it. But, yeah, man, be surprised if you got to play in this match.
Yeah, he said my audio is good, but yours is kind of shaky, you could say.
Sorry,
It's
boys.
okay. No worries. So in this one, I've changed my stance over the last 24 hours. Yesterday, I was kind of leaning on Newcastle, but there's a lot of injuries for them, and Burnley are getting some players back, and that is the key here. Burnley are going to get Tarkowski back. Some other key players in this. Me is probably going to feature here. So if I'm going anywhere from a side perspective, I would take the bigger price, and I would take Burnley. I think these two teams are even. This match historically, though, is an unders play. So you could get a whopping little combination play here, actually, like a Burnley on the money line and parlay it with like an under 3.5 or something to get even squeeze out some more value. That's interesting. I mean, that's a big price. So, yeah, I trust Burnley here to kind of react a little bit, and without St. Maximum, without Frazier, I mean, you're kind of looking at a 2017 Newcastle again, and it's a concern. It's a huge concern. I would be rolling with Burnley here. It's not taking my money. It could potentially on a lineup checker over the weekend. I could see myself dipping the toes into the clarets here, but really nothing right now.
Fair enough. You can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. I plugged my headset in. No, I mean,
that's a million times better.
Yeah, I'm sure my phone was low. But yeah, Burnley, Newcastle. We can go ahead and move it on. Not much in that one. Pretty good match here, in my opinion. Leicester and West Ham going to square off. Leicester, obviously, with the big 5-2 win against Manchester City, and West Ham, a massive win against Wolves, 4-0. We definitely didn't see it coming because we were both on Wolves pretty firmly there. Leicester, favorites at -150, a playable price, in my opinion. West Ham at dogs at +400. Posted total, let's call it 2.5 goals, shaded to the over at -155. Matt, your turn. Take the reins. Tell me where you're going in this one.
Early in the week, I wanted to find a way to back the +400 for West Ham. I really did. Just because I still am not trusting those Foxes. For some reason, I mean, even after a great performance against City, a lot of penalties in that match, though. Even a great performance against Burnley. The one thing is they're scoring goals, and they're scoring them in bunches, and it's led by you-know-who. The man is just insane. He's 33 years old. People are ripping the 3-year deal that he just signed over the summer. Not for me. I mean, the dude looks just incredibly fit, and his tenacity is unmatched in this league. So I kind of switched my stance. I was trying to find a way to back West Ham at +3/4 at around evens.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of think that they have enough to draw this match. I think when you look at these two matchups, and I just want to touch on last week's, when I saw West Ham's lineup against Wolves, I knew that some bad things were probably going to happen. Like, you could see it, and it was the perfect West Ham lineup that you could really ever dream of. It looked better on paper than Wolves, and it was better on the field. And now you're going to get a Fox side they're playing great. I mean, they've won every match. Rodgers is finding a way to get the squad to gel again.
Yep.
Still waiting on Pereira to come back. But man, I mean, they're starting to find a way. When you think about it, they've had a lot of guys that have been in. Justin, he's been at least getting a lot of match fitness over the summertime and whatnot. But I ended up deciding on that tenacious one here. Anytime goal scorer, Jamie Vardy. He's already bagged 5. Why not just catch him while he's hot still? West Ham still have defensive issues. I'm shocked that Wolves couldn't bag one against them last week, though.
Oh, 100%. Oh, sorry, boys. Yeah, I'm rolling with the over in this one, Matt. I'm playing it straight up over 2.5 goals at -147. Man, Leicester are just hot right now. They're rolling. It's hard to not, get behind them in the goal scoring market because of Jamie Vardy, because they're finding him again. The midfield's finding a way to get him the ball in dangerous places, and he's making the most of it. Whether he's catching penalties, when he gets the penalties, he's burying them in typical Vardy fashion, or he's getting his chance, half chance, turning it into a goal. The guy is he's in just great form. He does this. He goes in hot spurts, and they generally last a few weeks, calms down, gets back at it again. So I love your play. Other side of the ball, I mean, look what West Ham have been doing. They've scored in every match, but the first match of the year against Newcastle, I believe. And since then, they're blazing, man. They're just figuring it out. They always had the talent, but they had an issue getting the most out of that talent, getting the most out of Fornals, getting the most out of Susek. Some of these guys who are now coming into form. But was it Bowen last week?
Bowen,
goals,
Fornals,
fantastic.
They looked really, really good. Declan Rice kind of just organizing the ship a little bit, and
I do want to say to Leicester. So with Leicester, the typical pairing was the guy from Turkey. Good Lord, I'm forgetting his name. Son Yonku and Johnny Evans. Mm-hmm. They desperately needed to replace Johnny Evans. They finally did that this week with Wesley Fofana coming over from Saint Etienne, 19 years old, same age as Saliba. They're a pair. They're a partnership, in one of the best partnerships in France, and he's better than William Saliba. He's better. That's scary for them to get.
Wow.
Wow. Everybody tabs he's better. The move is what I have it written down: 36 million pounds. Big move for a 19-year-old. A lot of money. Mm-hmm. He's going to be trouble. He's going to be trouble.
French? Is he French?
I would assume if
I think he is.
God knows.
I'm pretty sure.
Big player. I'm worried about him. I'm going to tell you that right now. But he's not going to play this match. He just got announced, I think, today or yesterday. Yep. But I think Leicester set up to make a nice run. I was dead wrong about Leicester. I was dead wrong. I thought they were going to really regress this year. Time will tell. But yeah,
here's kind of my thing. So I think that Leicester probably do find a way to win this match. Mm-hmm. But I think the way that they're going to win is through Jamie Vardy. I think Jamie Vardy has to score a goal. Mm-hmm. So Leicester at minus 150, when I can get Vardy at minus 120 to score a goal. So I feel like I'm getting almost some value there in a sense. And if something does go wrong for the Foxes and West Ham pounce, then at least I would be done and dusted with a Jamie Vardy goal. So it's tough though, man. I mean,
it's work smart, not hard.
If you're listening, I would probably make it like a half unit stake. Nothing crazy, but I did play it for a full. So
fair enough. Let's get through some of these comments. Roman numerals going back to Burnley. I don't know if you can see him, Matt. He likes Burnley. He likes the value there. He's kind of with you. James Pomeroy. Matt, love all your work. Always great tips with Martin over on SBR. Thanks for the love.
Thank you.
We do appreciate it. Let's move on. Southampton and West Brom. Southampton got a 1-0 win against Burnley. Hard-fought match. West Brom 3-3 against Chelsea. Good work for them. I bet they wish they got all three, but hey, 1 point's enough in this league for them. In this one, Matt, you can get Southampton to minus 134. I think that is a fantastic price against this team. West Brom at plus 360. Posted total, 2.5 goals. Shaded to that over at minus 130. I'm going to make this quick. I like Southampton to win. I like them a lot to win. It's where's my camera at? I'm this close to playing it. I'm like this. I need to see the lineup. Because, man, West Brom, don't let that 3-3 fool you. Don't let it fool you. They're a horrific team. Southampton, they can't afford to not get 3 points in this situation. They just can't afford it. That's really all I got to say about this match. I just think it's a quality side who can score goals against a West Brom team who will generally struggle to score outside of that Chelsea match. Give me the team that can score and hopefully keep the other team out of the net.
Yeah, I mean, this one was probably the easiest pass for me of the week. I just looked at it.
Interesting.
Don't want to lay minus 130 really with Southampton. I would like a better price. And so thus, I would probably try and find a way to combine it with an over 1.5, and you can get a plus price on Southampton. I think that looks pretty good. It was a clear and easy pass for me, but I'm starting to find a way. I think that over 2.5 looks pretty good. I think that West Brom could find the back of the net against the Southampton team and push this one over. There's been just goals galore in this league, Cody, in the first few weeks. Why can't this one go over 2.5?
You're right. I get you. Yeah, that's really all we got to say about that one. If you're off of it that far, no need to discuss it further. Let's go ahead, my boys. Arsenal are going to play at the Emirates against Sheffield United, a team that we have trouble with. Good Lord, when teams lock down like that, we struggle. Still, Arsenal pretty heavy favorites at minus 186. Good luck if you're laying that. Sheffield United at plus 550. Posted total, shaded slightly to the over at minus 114. Matt, like I said, Arsenal and Sheffield, I don't want any part of this. I could talk for a minute about what Arsenal are doing right now, what Sheffield are doing. Sheffield trending down, Arsenal trending a bit upwards. But Arsenal struggle to break down teams that sit deep. I think they're going to have trouble on Sunday afternoon. I don't like this match. If I had a lean, if I had to play something, I would combine the draw at plus 300 and the under 2.5 at minus 109. I'd parlay them, get a plus 380 price. 1-1 or 0-0 is what I'm thinking this match. The under is, if you don't mess with the parlay, under 2.5 goals at minus 109, that is a fantastic price.
I couldn't agree more, Cody. I could not agree more. That is what I originally had circled in this game. Under. This feels like an unders game. I think I might have played the under last year in this one.
You did. You 100%.
And I think I ended up losing it in the last seconds. I think it ended up 2-1 Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
But I had it right. I think I had the game script right, and it just didn't.
In the first go round, I thought you might have played it too.
Yeah,
I think it did. It was 1-0, 1-1. We watched 1-0, I believe. But anyways.
This one is going to be tough, Cody. I agree. I found a way, though. I think that Arsenal, they've got to win this match. I mean, against a team like Sheffield that have not scored a goal, I expect the Gunners to be able to keep a clean sheet here. If Sheffield score against Arsenal, that's going to really bug me, I think.
Exactly.
It's because I'm backing them here. I'm backing Arsenal, and I'm backing the under 4.5 here.
I like that.
I would never lay the minus 186. I think it's kind of a trappy line. I have to admit.
It is.
I think. And sometimes when you work with those crappy lines, that's when you find your way to combine things and at least make it so, okay, I'm going to dive into a trap here a little bit.
But give yourself some insurance.
But I'm going to save myself essentially a half unit if it loses. So
correct. Smart.
Arsenal and under 4.5 for me, minus 125. It's not one of my favorite plays, but I think it's worthy. I mean, when you're looking at Sheffield, it's just like this, Cody. It's just down.
They're bad, man. And they just got your man Ryan Brewster. They just got him today.
Is it done? Is it a done deal?
And you guys got 23 million. What a steal!
We absolutely
stole.
We keep
Jurgen fleece. You hand out fleece jackets.
Oh my God, he fleeced. This is a fleecing. This is just what we did. This is just what we did with Jordan Ive.
Yeah, I know.
We sold him to Bournemouth, and then it's almost like, okay, we'll do the 2-year buyback.
Yeah, I think you have a 3-year buyback. It's disgusting. It's a disgusting deal, dude.
On this one, we got a 3-year buyback.
It's a disgusting deal. I hate it every bit.
Oh God!
Like let's
does it again, baby.
Dude, it's just I hate every bit of this.
Oh my God!
I got about 5 minutes. I'm gonna throw that at you. We got 3 matches to get through, so let's carry on. Where should we go next? What's on the list? Wolves
minus 205. The draw plus 310. Fulham 6.5 plus 650 basically. Posted total here of 2.5 goals. Traded to the under at minus 140 here, Cody. I'll take this one. I mean, Wolves dropped the ball for both of us.
Yeah,
I would still take the play again. I mean, when you look at how they had dominated West Ham for the last 2 seasons, relatively 2 similar squads, I would take it again at a plus 125. I really would. But when you look at the lineups and whatnot, I think that it was good maybe should have probably laid off of it. But here in this one, I expect a response. I really do. I expect a response against a poor defense in Fulham. This is one that we should see Wolves score 3 on their own. Really. I mean, they've got to get going, though. But they don't look like they're getting going. So, I think that I'll probably be getting back to some halftime draws here soon on Wolves. Yeah. Glad I haven't played any of them yet, but I think that they're going to be in play here soon because they're struggling to break teams down. They're going to be given the ball here and see if they can break down Fulham. Wolves and over 1.5 looks like the play.
Good call.
You can also do Wolves and under 4.5 because Wolves matches rarely see 5 goals. So either one of those looks pretty darn good. Wolves and under 4.5, I believe, is minus 150. Anyways, I'll just get it clear here. I went for Jimenez anytime goal scorer. He's one of my favorite strikers in this league. He might be my favorite striker.
He's been great.
He reminds me of 2014, like not as good, but like on a close level as Suarez. Just kind of like he looks like a South American. He is Mexican, but he feels and looks like a South American that just has great runs into the box. I think the kid's going to be licking his chops this week to get Wolves on a bounce back. He takes the penalties. The odds are at plus 100. And I mean, it's against the worst defense in the league. Like you've got to need your front striker to be licking his chops here.
Yeah. And I actually saw a stat. It was last week, since it was about Arsenal. Since Aubameyang came in the league, not this last January, 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I'm getting hazy. 2 years ago. Jimenez is like fourth in total goals in the past 2.5 years, 1.5 years. So the guy's got a great clip on him. I like that play a lot. I do. I'll make it short and sweet. Fulham are garbage. They're worse than I thought they were coming up, and I thought they were pretty bad. They are just all around. Just can't. They're just not a good team. I mean, not much to say. Offensively, defensively, they have holes everywhere. Scott Parker's got his work cut out. I kind of feel bad for the guy, to be honest. Wolves win to 0 plus 116. Almost. I need to see the lineup because I'm not getting fooled again. I'm not getting fooled again.
Say, Cody, like not very often do we ever recommend laying minus 200. I would consider it here. I would find a way to parlay them, like something. I don't know, but I think that we'll win this match. I really do. This could be 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. I don't care. I don't see Fulham's really
not getting a point. There's no way. There's literally no way. They're going to choke the life out of Fulham. I think Wolves tend to score later. They're going to jump all over them, and they're just going to – it's going to be a beat down. It's going to be a beat down. We'll move it on. 2 matches to go. Biggest match of the weekend, most will say. Manchester United at Old Trafford. They are going to host Tottenham. Now, this is a really, really good affair. 2 teams that definitely won all 3 points here. Manchester United minus 110. Tottenham at plus 300. It's a good price if you're a Tottenham backer. Post a total. It's a good price. Post a total 2.5 goals shaded to the over at minus 127. I think there's value in this match. There is. It's just I'm going to make this short and sweet about this. These 2 teams, every year when they play, every single time without fail, I feel like I can't get a read on this match. This is one of those fixtures. It either there's goals galore or it's just tightened up. I really, really struggle with it. West Ham, Man United coming off a 3-2 win to Brighton, where they're absolutely fortunate. Tottenham 1-1 against Newcastle with one of the worst decisions I've seen in a long time in the Premier League. They got royally screwed over there. Both teams to score minus 150, maybe. United to win minus 110.
That looks like a potential banker play. It's not something I've locked in, but I think this is one of those, though. This is one that I think it is both teams to score, but I actually think it could be an unders game. That's where I hate
this match.
I hate everything about this match. The first thing I circled was draw double chance with Spurs. There's no way that United should be laying this kind of price. Now they're getting in the minus 110s. No way. This match last year went off at I believe United were plus 160 last season. Why are they here now? Why are they odds on favorites? Why are they in the minus right now? It makes no sense to me. I expect Mourinho to out tactic Ole Gunnar Solskjaer all day, every day. I would have Jose Mourinho here. Ole, what I mean?
Off the screen.
It's a clear managerial mismatch in my opinion, and Kane's starting to get going. It's Tottenham plus a half, or both teams to score or nothing here. For me right now, it's nothing.
Yeah, I was surprised at the price on both teams to score. So I'm just going to wait on it a bit.
I wouldn't talk anyone off of Spurs to win this match though. Plus 300.
If you're taking a stab, that's where you're going.
These 2 teams are even. Value. They are so even. Yeah. This is a 50-50 match. There's no fans at Old Trafford. Like this is as 50-50 as it'll ever be.
Absolutely. Last match of the day. Let's wrap this sucker up. It's your boys. They're going to go to Villa Park. Villa feels good. They're a good team right now, man. They've put the right players in the system. They're getting results. Let's break down the lines here. Villa, plus 900. If you're a Villa fan, looking at your Roman numerals, there's your number. Liverpool, minus 315. We can go away from that. Posted total, let's go 2.5 goals, heavily shaded to the over at minus 186. So you're looking at 3 if you want to get your odds slim down there. Matt, I'll take the reins here because this is one I never like getting involved in Liverpool matches. It's just something I don't do, because it's usually one-way traffic, or they just give this the tightest games ever against teams like Villa. So I actually love what Villa's doing. I think they've shored a lot of things up defensively. They've got some contracts done. Johnny McGinn's coming back into the club. He played. His fitness is getting there. and they have a goal scorer in Ollie Watkins. Sorry, I hate Burnley. I get confused. I like Villa plus 1.5 on the Asian handicap. I did write my price down, but it was a good price.
It's a good price. That's a plus price.
Yeah, it was a good look. You can get them at, the plus one is at plus 175 at minus 109. That's what I got him at for that.
Okay.
Just because I think it's going to be one of those tight matches. Liverpool, I think they're going to have a tough time. The thing is, if Liverpool score early, Villa's going to get a little loose, and they're going to get clapped. So that's why I'm off of this. It terrifies me.
Yeah, I remember playing the under between these two last season. I think that these two teams stack up actually at an under kind of pace. But Liverpool have been conceding. Can Villa hurt Liverpool? Can they find a way? It's tough. That flip a coin, really. I would say if there weren't so many goals being scored in these opening weeks, this would be an underplay for me. Under 3 goals. I think at worst this one pushes at 3, but I think that when you see Villa, you see an organized side, some decent defensive players. Konsa is starting to really make his mark as a nice pairing with Mings. It's just tough, man. I like the Ross Barkley loan. I think that Villa need anything and everything that they can get really in the middle of the park. They just need somebody. So I think Barkley's the perfect guy for them. I think that they're clearly going to stay up now after a great start. Now it's can Villa push into, that 10th
tier.
The next tier of 10 through 12, 13, and start making themselves cemented in this league.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the value, Cody. I really couldn't. But again, if you're going to parlay with Liverpool, you're probably doing the right thing. Like a Wolves Liverpool parlay, that's a plus price. I don't hate it, but it's just not. It's not something that I'm interested in.
No, not really. And I'll tell you what, if Liverpool played like they did against Arsenal last week in that 3-1 beating, I have not seen Liverpool look that good in a half. I'm not even kidding you, in a very long time.
I know.
Oh, it was Virgil Knight was spraying the ball around like he was Steven Gerrard. It was all.
He's so good at passing, Cody. His passing so underrated, man.
He's the best passing center half in the league. It's not even close.
It's close.
But that'll wrap it up. Let's run through the plays. I'll make it short and sweet. I have 2 of them. A little weak on my part this week. Leeds United, Manchester City. Both teams are scoring over 2.5 goals, minus 148. And Leicester, West Ham, over 2.5 goals. I got it at minus 147.
Yep, goals galore. It's been hidden, so why not? So for me here, I have gone. It's a tough week. I've gone with 5 plays though, so it's something that right before the international break. If you're listening in, probably keep your stakes just a little bit smaller than normal. It's a tough week. It really, really is. This is one of the toughest cards I think, Cody, that we've seen in a while. We've seen a lot of cards because a lot of these cards are tough. I mean, it's the English Premier League, but this one is especially tough. I'm going with Chelsea, Palace, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals, plus 115. I am going with Vardy anytime, Jimenez to score anytime. What else do I have?
I didn't mark your plays down. You had Arsenal, Sheffield. You're playing Arsenal to win in under 4.5, I believe. And I think I lost Matt, but that's all right. We're just going to wrap it up. I think we lost him. His phone died. But that'll go ahead and wrap it up. Appreciate you guys listening in on the live show. We'll replay. It died on him. He just texted me. He'll recap his plays on Twitter. It's not a problem if you didn't catch him. But thank you guys for listening. Shout out to Pub Sports Radio for putting us on air today. Everybody have a good one.